Hey, Pretty Hustle Gang. It's Nikki coming to you today. This is an impromptu video. I was gonna do another topic for my video, but with the untimely passing of Nipsey Hussle, I was really like, I feel inspired to do a video, and I feel inspired to do a video about this subject and the subject of censorship and just about knowledge and truth seeking. But first, before we even get into any of that, I just want to read a little bit of information having to do with Nipsey, and I want to get it correct. Nipsey's real name is ErMias Asghedom. I hope I pronounced it correctly. If not, I sincerely apologize. He was born August 15th, 1985, and he passed away yesterday from gunshot wounds, March 31st, 2019. Okay, so all of you may know Nipsey Hussle is a rapper by trade. His last album was really when I first got into listening to him. The song Victory Lap was like my favorite song on the album. Nipsey was involved in previously, and this is going to come out, this is all over social media, but this is like the narrative that they want you to buy into. Yes, he was in an affiliation with some type of a gang, but how many rappers in the gang aren't? I mean, really. And he actually was giving back, really giving back to his community, not just doing lip service. He was involved in a lot of structural entities in the community with technology. He developed an interest in technology and community development, and he was a part of the team of artists and entrepreneurs who developed Destination Crenshaw, an open-air museum devoted to honoring African American artistic achievement. He was also an investor in Vector 90, a co-working space in South Central Los Angeles where young people can take classes in science, technology, and mathematics. He called the center a bridge between Silicon Valley and their inner cities, saying at last year's Afrotech conference that he hoped to expand to other cities like Atlanta, Washington, and Baltimore. Nipsey was killed outside of the strip mall that he actually purchased, where his clothing store is. I believe the clothing brand is called Marathon. I will check my facts to be sure that's correct. If it's not called Marathon, then I will be doing a voiceover, but I believe that that's what it's called. Now, the reason why I wanted to do this video is because I became aware that Nipsey was working on or affiliated with a documentary having to do with Dr. Sebi. And for any of you who do not know who Dr. Sebi was, he was a holistic practitioner from Honduras. He, in the 80s, pretty much, it came about that he had the cure for AIDS, that he had the cure for these diseases, diabetes, these different things that we're all taking medications for, that Big Pharma is making trillions of dollars off of. And he, through his holistic practices and alkaline-based food and vitamins, had the form of a cure. He was actually taken to court for this, I believe, in 1985 in New York. And there were 70 patients of his that came forth with actual proof that they had AIDS or HIV at one time. And after doing a progression of his regimen and being tested, they no longer had it. There was proof of this, so the case against him was dropped. So, also, if you remember Lisa Left Eye Lopez, who was part of TLC, she was the first person that I really heard talk about Dr. Sebi. She was in Honduras visiting him, being treated by him holistically when she was killed in an accident. And then later on, Dr. Sebi himself was arrested at an airport, suspiciously because he was carrying too much currency, which I've never heard of someone arresting someone because they have too much money, but okay. So they got him into their custody and he died in their custody. supposedly from pneumonia. Now, this is the most healthy man on the planet. I'm not sure how they figured that we would buy that he died of pneumonia, but that was the reason. So, in any case, there's a documentary being worked on. Nipsey was affiliated with it. And he openly discussed and talked about his holistic practices and talked about Dr. Sebi on 105.1. He was open about this and kind of spreading the word. And for this to kind of happen now, when this documentary is either close to being done or soon to be released, to me, it just, I don't know. When I first started seeing posts from people on Facebook that he was shot outside his own store, I immediately was like, yeah, they're about to, because he had an affiliation with the gang, they're about to spin and divert our attention and making this into a gang affiliated shooting, which could potentially cause gang wars. I believe they tried to do this with Cardi B when all of that was going on between the two groups. I think that was their agenda with Cardi, but it didn't really work. It was squashed. And consequently, today, Nipsey was supposed to be meeting with the LA commissioner in reference to gang violence and gang activity in LA. So it's really sad. To me, you see the same story play over and over again. I'm not going to compare him to Malcolm X or Martin Luther King or a Tupac, but certainly he was the voice of this generation, and you can't take that from him. It doesn't really matter what he was affiliated with, because the United States is a gang. To me, a lot of armed forces in our country are gangs. And especially when there are people that are of a color or minority, when two or more gather in a place, it's a posse. It's a gang. Okay, so I'm not allowing that same old narrative to be told in reference to our urban cities and our men and also our women, especially when that's going to be used as a cover-up. You really have to do your own investigation, and you really have to educate yourself on this. Look it up. Look up what he was working on. Look up how close this was to being done. And you have a lot of other influential rappers, movie producers. You have people in the game that have the money to... It doesn't take a lot of money to do a documentary. My mom did a documentary on the slave trade from Ghana to the Delaware River through Cooper River, called Unhushed. And it doesn't take a lot of money to do a documentary. So with all these influential people still here that can get this done, who's really going to step up to do this that's not afraid? He even did an interview not that long ago saying if something happened to him, ride for him. Like, I really admire his courage. I really admire that even though his life didn't start off on what you may deem a correct path, he did something with it. He did something with his celebrity. He did something with his money. He reinvested in the community and was in the community. How many people say that? How many people can do that? Yeah, you might start a building here or start a building there, but are you there in the community helping the people? He was doing that, so he was loved where he is. And I think that the powers that be know that. And if they put out that it was a rival gang or something having to do with a gang that sadly ended his life, that's going to spark, it's already sparking tension. There have already been reports of additional drive-by shootings and things that are happening now with activity, and that just really makes me nervous, because I'm like, listen, we're already out here killing each other. You know, it's like, don't allow them to spin the narrative they want to spin, because it's to incite riots. It's to incite chaos. When the Rodney King beatings happened, and because I'm awake now, I'm suspect of everything that has been put in the media, to be honest. Back then, no, I would have never thought of it, but the Rodney King beatings to me were used to incite riots. And what happened? It did. It incited a riot, but we rioted in our own community. We burnt down our own stuff. Okay? So these major things that are happening that spill over into civil unrest, even though I'm very angry, I feel like, wow, this brother was only 33. Who knows what he could have possibly created or been a part of or brought to the forefront. I mean, he was 33. Okay? So to me, it's like, yeah, it makes you angry. It makes me angry because, for one, in the 80s, I'm going to go all the way back, okay? Because when I do my research, I do my research. I have a thirst, a quest for knowledge, and I want to make sure the information is correct. In the 80s, especially in South Central Los Angeles. Now, I know you guys have seen Snowfall on FX. That, honestly, to me, is one of the truest depictions, besides Boys in the Hood, of what was really going on. How do you think that the crack got into the neighborhoods? Are we manning any ports? You have to fly the drugs in. You have to get the drugs in. I don't care from what country you're getting them from. Yeah, you can get the cocaine from Colombia, stuff coming over from Mexico, but you can get through a TSA line to get on an airplane with baby oil. You can't have a perfume in your bag and get through. So how the hell are you getting through kilos and kilos of cocaine? How are you getting through all these guns? It was proven that during the Reagan era in the 80s, the CIA was getting the guns from Noriega. The CIA was getting the guns from other governments. They were allowed to bring the guns into the country. And where were they selling them? Where were they putting the guns? Into our communities. Where were they flooding the drugs? Into our communities. Crack was responsible in the 80s for the immediate disruption of many black families. Mothers that were working, supporting their kids, fathers and mothers that were supporting their households, very easily became addicts. And then you have black households divided. And then you have mothers who aren't taking care of their kids. They're in the street doing whatever they have to do to get this drug. That's how powerful it was. So it was really responsible for the immediate degradation of our communities in the 80s. I mean, that's really where a lot of the gang stuff started, especially in places like South Central Los Angeles. So it's like you introduce the stuff to our communities, you introduce the drugs, you introduce everything, because you want us to kill each other. You want us to do what you can't do. And then when it comes to music and the media, it's quick to come up, oh, he was affiliated, oh, this was gang related, oh, blah, blah, blah. Okay, well, Cardi B very openly states she's with a gang. Cardi B very openly states that she joined the gang at 15, 16. She praises it. She wears the colors. She praises it. Through a lot of the videos, the colors are worn. So it's like, when it comes to something negative, y'all want to throw that out there to try to, it's a clear tactic, and the tactic is because they're always working on something else. There are always divisive measures put out in the media when they want to take our minds off of what's really going on. That's what the R. Kelly stuff was about. That's what the Jussie Smollett stuff was about. And now that that's died down, you, to me, take out this well-known figure who was really doing amazing things, and it spread so fast through social media like wildfire. It did exactly what it was intended to do, and it's sad because it takes the picture of what it really should be about, is that somebody lost his life and he did these amazing things, and this is what he was working on, and that's what we should be looking into. So when they start throwing the words out, more than likely gang related, I reject that. I'm not saying that. I'm not spinning that narrative. You're not going to write this narrative, and I'm not saying that on here. Because I don't believe that that's what it is. And if it, just like Malcolm X, in the end, was taken out by some of his own peers. But who do you think hired those people to take him out? He was uncovering too much. He was getting too close. He was too big of a voice. So yeah, they may use us for their own agenda, but nah, it's not about the gang stuff. We're not even buying that. It's sad. And I definitely will be praying for his spirit, his family, his kids. But what he started, what he was working on, has to be continued. It's pertinent. It's pertinent information. And yeah, it angers the powers that be, of course. You know how much money they make from diseases in this country? Do you know how much money they make from scaring people into information about these diseases in this country? And HMO is a service that refers doctor to doctor for different ailments. You can't go see a gynecologist if you want to get your ear, nose, and throat checked out. You have to go see an ear, nose, and throat specialist. You have to go see someone who specializes in internal medicine for anything having to do with gastrointestinal disorders. There's a doctor for everything, and that's what HMOs are here for. I know. I've been in the medical field since 1998. I see what they're charging. I audit the bills, so I know how big it is. And if you're discussing possibly that you may not need these things, okay, well, surgeons don't make money if there are no surgeries. They're building all these new hospitals and cancer treatment centers, and, well, people would have to have cancer for them to run, wouldn't they? This is how it goes. The bottom line is always money. So for me, I wasn't going to make, this video was not going to be about this, but it's like, this happened last night. My stomach was hurting all night. I was really like, wow, I just felt like making a video about this because ain't nobody buying that y'all trying to spin. And this video may be taken down. This video may be deleted. I'm definitely going to get a copyright strike because I'm going to play the Sam Cooke song at the end of my video. Change is going to come. So I know I'm going to get a copyright, but that's okay. And if they delete this video, that's okay. I'm going to redo it. It's called freedom of speech. And I have the right to voice my opinion. And don't take my word for it. Do your own research. Research it for yourself. He was about something. Now, you don't have to have a clean... First of all, Judge Mathis had a GED. And he was affiliated with the street before his mother died when he was a teen. And she put him out and she passed away from cancer. He was in jail. When he got out, he got his GED. He went to college. He became a lawyer and then he became a judge. So it's not about where you start. It's where you end. So I don't want to hear all that nah about, yeah, well, you live by the gun. Listen, life is life. Your life is not better than someone else's life. And at least he was doing something positive with his life. You have a lot of people that talk. But are y'all putting your money where your mouth is? You got a lot of these rappers, stars, moguls, businessmen and women. Y'all out here really getting it. But when it comes to really stepping out on these social issues, where y'all at? Where y'all at? What y'all really doing? So I give him a lot of credit. And he had a lot of courage. So if for nothing else, he awakened some people. And he changed some people's lives. You see all the outpouring from social media. You see all the outpouring from these kids. Like, it really, it hurts to, you have a feeling in your stomach like, wow, really? When you're pushing their agenda, they want you all out in the forefront because you're making the money for them. Okay? Just like how R. Kelly's done. R. Kelly's done because he can't make no more money for them. They knew what he was about, what he was doing. They knew he liked young girls. I'm sure they was sending people on down the pipe. Listen, it's what it is. Now he can't do nothing for y'all. So now, y'all gonna do the same thing y'all did to Bill Cosby. When you're going up the ladder, be sure you have to come back down the ladder. So, even if you're affiliated with the powers that be, it is only for their agenda. I don't care what anybody says. And I have the right to say that. It's my right. It's my freedom of speech. But I'm really saddened by this. Really saddened by his untimely death. It's really sad. He had a lot to say. And he got the voice of the young people. Everybody can't reach the young people. We're in a different era. We're in a different generation. But if he was able to reach them and say, hey, let's do things a different way. Hey, you may not need to go down this path. And he was seeking knowledge. He was awake. He was very intelligent. I read a lot about him. He was very intelligent man. So don't just allow it to be, oh yeah, he was with this group, he was with that group. It was, oh, that's what he was about. Live by, nah. Look into who the man was. Okay? So I just wanted to make I felt really moved to just kind of make a video about this and offer my condolences, and just, don't allow this to incite more chaos in our communities, because that would be an atrocity. Don't allow how they're spinning this to incite chaos amongst us. We have enough of that. Okay? We need peace. We need peace, and we need to unite. Division is the easiest way to conquer a people. They already did that. They came, got us from our land. And they came and got us from our land because our land it's rich. Where do you think diamonds came from? Natural fuels. The earth. The richness of our land. That's why they enslaved us. To take that over. Okay? And then use us for cheap labor to really build this country up. I mean, do your research. This is not what it always just looks to be. You have to really, really research. Okay? So, I wanted to say that, and again, my prayers go out to Nipsey's family, children, partner, parents, just anybody that know him. I mean, people are like, this is a hurt piece right here. I really was just like, that's sad. That's sad. But I want to flip it to a more positive aspect. I'm definitely sending my prayers, and I want to see who picks up the pieces from where he left off. I do. I want to continue to follow this, because this will die down in a week or so, 2 weeks or so. People will go back to being asleep. Okay? Because they'll find something else to divert your attention. But for me, nah, I want to see. Because you don't want this man to have lost his life in vain. It's bigger than what. It's bigger. So, on another note, I normally highlight entrepreneurs from Camden. But today, I'm actually going to highlight a husband and wife team. Now, they're from Philly, but a lot of people that I know in Jersey have used them. They've catered different events for people that I know. They're all over the place. Their food is phenomenal, okay? And their husband and wife team, Rob and Janine Davis, Just Like That Catering. I believe Janine is responsible for the decor. Rob, of course, is the chef. And when he posts his pictures on Instagram and Facebook, I mean, my eyes just be glued to them. Like, if I'm doing my regimen where I'm eating certain things or not eating certain, I mean, okay, I'm going to post a couple of the pictures from his Instagram. They are just amazing. They're a duo, husband and wife. So I want to highlight them, Just Like That Catering. And check them out. I'm going to leave their Facebook, and I'm also going to leave their Instagram. But I've heard rave reviews from people that they've done parties for, weddings for. They cater to schools. Okay, and I'm telling you, this food looks amazing. Amazing. One thing I definitely want to try, I think, is the jerk chicken macaroni salad, is it? I don't know for sure, but let me just say, I'm going to post a picture and you're going to be like, wow. So I just wanted to end it on a more positive note. Again, I want to offer my condolences, and I don't know, it's like strange times out here. But you can arm yourself with knowledge. You can arm yourself by being aware and teaching your kids these things. because we are leaving all of this to our kids. Our kids are the ones going to come up in this, okay? So we got to make it better for them. Like, this stuff out here is scary. Scary. So again, thanks you guys, and I will be back in a couple days to make another video. And again, remember, check out Just Like That Catering. Rob Davis, his wife's name is Janine. They're amazing. They're husband and wife, and they work very hard. And I like their slogan, it's always for the win. I love that. And let's support each other. I mean, what else can we be doing out here? Who's gonna do it if we don't do it? So, alright, you guys, be safe. Come in peace and go in peace, okay? Seriously. Seriously. Don't let anyone else write our story. Don't let them continue to write the narrative, okay? Especially when they created the narrative. Alright. Pretty Hussle Inc. And take care, you guys.